Not going to die wondering. Looks like Nathan Buck to continue from the far end as well. Fakhar Zaman on strike. And in comes Buck. This one just defended into the leg side by Zaman. Rare defensive shot from the left-hander.
Bowl him a decent ball, he will treat it with respect, but anything remotely offline, anything remotely short, he's going to have a good old thrash at it. Made 76 in 59 balls at Beckenham on Saturday, a bigger playing area than here at Wantage Road. He's already lifted a couple of sixes.
Here comes Buck into Zaman again, who drives this through the onside. Is it going to beat the mid-on fielder? Yes, it is. Sloppy bit of work there in the end, and it runs through to the boundary for 4 more runs. More chance of Pakistan Zindabad from the kids over on the far side. Little Pakistan fan club over there. There's a few more scattered around the ground here today as well.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
And that's another boundary to Fakhar Zaman.
Wasn't the best bit of fielding by Mohammed Azawullah there, back in the north hand side today.
Buck in again, this time short and pulled through mid-wicket. It's racing towards the boundary, a bit of work to do for the sweeper, who gets there in the end, diving away to his right. And it's another couple of runs to Fakhar Zaman, who moves on to 29. In fact, 31, as the scoreboard just ticks over. Pakistan at 43 without loss in the 6th over. Scoreboard over to our right, having a few issues once again. As Buck comes in to Zaman, this time defended into the onside. A better delivery, just short of a length. Zaman just defending that off the back foot. A pretty regulation field at this stage of the innings from Northants. Got a point. Cover, extra cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, short fine leg, and the third man in the deep mid-wicket. The 2 fielders outside the circle as Buck comes in once again to Zaman. This one wide and driven through the covers. 4 more runs. Another crunching shot through the offside there from Fakhar Zaman. Straight off the middle of the bat. Too much width offered by Nathan Buck. And given the full treatment, he moves on to 35.
Again, a little bit of width is all he needs to flash his hands at it. And it was crunched away through the covers.
Yeah, the change of bat certainly doing him no harm. I'm sure he's got 3 or 4 very good ones in his kit bag. So 1 ball remaining in this 6th over. Fakhar Zaman on strike once again. Nathan Buck making his way in past the umpire, and this one short and pulled through mid-wicket. He doesn't even bother trying to run for that. 4 more runs all the way along the ground. And a boundary to finish off the 6th over. Fakhar Zaman quickly on to 39, and the Pakistanis bringing up their 50. 51 without loss after 6 overs, chasing 274.
Wasn't too much wrong with the delivery, was there really? It was just slightly back of the length, and just something in his eye line to rock back to and viciously pull away. Timing the ball really well so far has been superb to watch.
It was only 10 or 15 yards to the right of the sweeper out on the boundary there at mid-wicket, who didn't even bother to try and chase that one down. Such was the venom it was hit with. Imam ul Haq at the moment unbeaten on 12. He's got the best view in the house of Fakhar Zaman, hitting the ball to all parts. It's going to be Brett Hutton to continue from this pavilion end. A few words with Captain Josh Cobb as to what the plan should be. Imam ul Haq on strike. Hutton comes in, and he's down the wicket, Imam, and smashes this past mid-off. All the way along the ground once again for 4 runs. A diving effort there at mid-off, down to his right, but the ball was pretty much past him as he hit the ground.
Imam fancying a piece of this opening attack now as well. Shimmy down the pitch, length ball crashed away. As you say, it was past Nathan Buck at mid-off before he could even think about getting down. Great starts here with the tourists. And unless Northants can strike quickly, this could be over in steady time.
I think sensibly the slip coming out. Extra man in the cover region now. At extra cover, short extra cover in fact. In comes Hutton again to Imam, who flicks this one out towards deep backward square leg for a single. Over to you, Fakhar Zaman. 65 without loss now, Pakistan. In fact, I think that scoreboard's having a bit of a nightmare now to our left, and it's 56 without loss actually, after that last boundary from Imam ul Haq. Hutton round the wicket this time to Fakhar, who drives this straight to Josh Cobb at mid-on.
Yeah, they've got, well, both scoreboards are out because they've been giving some of Fakhar's runs to Imam on both scoreboards. The computer board in front of me is also incorrect.
Safe to say Pakistan are bossing it at this stage there.
Correct.
Let's just go with that.
Absolutely, yeah. Can live without the details for a moment.
Here comes Hutton back around the wicket to Fakhar Zaman, and this one called wide in the end. It was a short delivery. Fakhar Zaman not the biggest man, and umpire saying that went over head height. So 274 the target for Pakistan to beat Northamptonshire here in their second tour match. Hutton into Zaman again, who drives this one past extra cover. 4 more runs. Just a little bit of extra width offered once again, and Zaman with his chance to get his hands through that one, finding the middle of the bat once again, and similar result, 4 more runs.
A lovely piece of timing again, just a little bit of width, wasn't there? Able to throw his hands at it. Raced away from Zabe at extra cover. Don't ask us what the score is, mind. All 3 boards that we can see are showing different numbers.
In comes Hutton. Back around the wicket to Fakhar Zaman. This one full wrapped on the pads, but they're going to get through for a leg bye. Yes, they are. Looks to be straight onto the boot of Fakhar Zaman, that one. Looks in a bit of pain.
I think the board to our right has actually got the total correct. It'll flick over, or should do in a moment, to 62 without loss. But they've been allocating, well, they've just got the 2 batsmen the wrong way around.
Fakhar Zaman wearing the number 39. Imam ul Haq 26 on his back. Hutton comes round the wicket to Imam as well, and this one short and left outside the off stump, and that is a dot ball to finish off the 8th over.
That's the only cricket going on there today. One Day Cup resumes tomorrow with fixtures at the Racecourse Ground, Derbyshire, Warwickshire, and Durham, Lancashire, which takes place at South Northumberland Cricket Club up in Gosforth. So Durham taking their match on the road against Lancs. Big game as well, with both teams going well in the group stage so far. Essex, Sussex is at Chelmsford, Gloucestershire, Glamorgan at Bristol, and Surrey, Hampshire at the Oval. All those games are 11 o'clock starts. And then Northants back in action on Wednesday, where there are 3 games. Worcester Notts at New Road, Middlesex Somerset takes place at Radlett. They're the 11 o'clock starts. And then Northants here against Yorkshire is the day-night offering. It begins at 1 o'clock. And as ever, God willing, I'll be in position come Wednesday lunchtime.
I think the batsmen are quite confused about the scoreboards as well. Currently discussions taking place with the umpires as to which one is correct.
I've no idea what this delay is for here. I think Northants have got a substitute fielder on now to our left-hand side, but I don't recognise him at all.
Yeah, no name and number on the back.
I think they have settled for 61 without loss.
Start of the 8th over. Single there, down towards mid-off for Fakhar Zaman. It's Ian Holland into the attack. Imam back on strike. Holland comes in once again, and this one just defended straight back to him.
Proved a bit expensive on Wednesday against Worcestershire. Ian Holland, 5 overs for 39. In the context of a low scoring game was very expensive.
And he comes once again to Imam. This one fuller and played down to mid-on. They think about a single, decide against it. So I think both scoreboards are in sync now. 62 without loss they have on them. Pakistan in the 8th over. Fakhar Zaman 31, Imam ul Haq 30. In comes Holland once again. This one just defended into the offside by Imam. No run. So we see Mohammed Hafiz just walking along the boundary in front of us. 38-year-old veteran of Pakistani cricket. Looks like he just went for a net session there. Holland in to Imam again, who flicks this straight to the mid-wicket fielder. No run once again.
It's been going a while now, the professor, hasn't he?
Yeah. Not been bowling in recent years, of course. Question marks over his action. Still pretty consistent with the bat at the top of the order. We see Holland into Imam once again. Just clips this straight to mid-wicket again. Another dot ball. And that is the end of the 8th over. Pakistan at 62 without loss. Very good start, as we keep saying. 274 the target.
The computer scoreboard is now, well, no, I don't think it has got it right as well, because it's allocated one of the 6s so far to Imam. It was Fakir who struck a 6 over square leg, and the other one out the ground over long leg to our right. They've allocated one to Imam generously.
He'll take that, I'm sure. As Brett Hutton continues round the wicket to Fakhar Zaman, a short, slower delivery, and Imam thought about pulling that one over the leg side. He realised it was a slower delivery and then pulled out of his shot at the last minute, straight through to the keeper. Good change of pace from Brett Hutton there. Hutton continuing round the wicket. In past the umpire. Full delivery and driven straight into the stumps at the non-striker's end. Middle stump out of the ground. Umpire running for cover as well. And in the end, a dot ball, but he certainly got good contact onto that one, did Fakhar Zaman, straight off the middle of the bat. Unfortunately for him, 2 straight. A good opening stand here for the Pakistanis. It has been a problem area for them in recent times, as has most of their batting through the middle order as well, as Hassan comes into Zaman, who slays this one through the offside, didn't get all of that, and just out of the reach of the cover fielder, and they're going to jog through for 2. Looking to play that a little bit straighter, just skewing it towards the cover fielder there, diving away to his left, and getting away with one, Fakhar Zaman. Yeah, Pakistan, they still haven't been able to fill the void, I don't feel, left by Yunus Khan, Misbah-ul Haq, even Mohammad Yusuf in the middle order.
Yeah, it's a lot of experience, isn't it?
Hutton in again to Fakhar Zaman. Another slower delivery, and this time picked up and pulled over into the leg side, backward of square, and 4 more runs. Just rocked back and just helped it on its way, that one. Another boundary there to Fakhar Zaman. Score moves on to 68 without loss. Zaman on to 37.
Got the right man back on strike on the scoreboard now, right to our right. They've still given him a few too many runs though, I fancy.
And comes Hutton to Zaman. This one fuller and just squeezed into the offside towards point. They think about another single. Imam sending Fakhar Zaman back. Seems to be a thing about Pakistani cricket, doesn't it? If they're not hitting boundaries, there's always some sort of action out there in terms of comical running and things like that. One ball remaining in this over from Brett Hutton. Round the wicket again, short and pulled out towards the square leg fielder, who takes it on the first bounce. And it's a single to Fakhar Zaman to finish off the 9th over. Pakistan 69 without loss.
Yeah, a couple of miscues here, could have easily found a fielder, but the progress continues. I'm sure good viewing to the Pakistan batting coach away to my right hand side, Grant Flower down there. Out on the committee balcony in the Spence Pavilion. Hot drink in hand, got his shades on down there. Sun's gone in. We've had the benefit of a settled coaching staff for quite some time, Pakistan. Mickey Arthur is head coach, Grant Flower and Azam Mahmood we've talked about earlier on today. Settled backroom staff.
Then comes Ian Holland into Fakhar Zaman down the leg side and signalled wide by the umpire. Another run to the Pakistani total. And the players, certainly a large chunk of the squad, were at Azam Mahmood's residence a few days ago for a little get-together. Of course, living in the Surrey area, Azam Mahmood, for the last number of years. In comes Holland to Zaman again, who just guides this to short third man, no run.
A substitute on there for Northampton. Again, I've no idea who that might be. One of the lads out of the academy. I think Mickey Arthur went to Leicester football yesterday. He's an Arsenal fan.
Oh, is he? Poor old Mickey Arthur then.
Yes.
My club doing them over 3-0. Thank you. As Holland comes into Zaman again. This one full and just flicked out towards mid-wicket for a single. Did you spot him on the TV?
No, I had an interview with him at the weekend and he said he was heading up. It was a Arsenal supporter from afar. Chance to go to the King Power yesterday, but not a good day for the Arsenal.
Comes Holland to Imam this time. He pushes this one to mid-off. Run through for a single. Right, for anyone who is following the English Premier League, Arsenal, Manchester United and Chelsea all doing their best not to finish in the top four this season. Keep dropping points. Holland again, and this one driven by Zaman. Very good start indeed for the tourists. So Imam back on strike and Holland comes in. This one guided down to
There's the applause, very generous it is too, for the return of Mohamed Azarullah. A cult hero really in these parts. Back here today, may only be for one day, but he has actually been in some steady form, taking wickets for the Northampton second 11. Spent the winter playing domestic cricket back in Pakistan. Here he is then, running in right arm over. Starts with a bumper to Imam, who pulls to short mid wicket and there's no run. Played against Warwickshire seconds at Desborough, 3 for 28. And Leicestershire seconds here, and took 3 for 62. So some wickets for Azarullah. I did see someone down as Azir-Ullah with an I instead of an A on a scorecard for the second 11, and I did wonder, but assumed because it was spelt differently that it was somebody else. But it is the Azarullah who goes in here and gets clipped down to long leg for a single. So Imam goes to, well, who knows what he goes to. Here the score goes to 64 without loss in the
74 without loss.
Yes, sorry, yes, the scoreboard to our right hand side is counting backwards now, because only 8.3 overs are up there.
In fact, 75 with that single. I think Imam 33 as far as we can tell.
Fakir back on strike, and he pulls Azarullah, miscues it, but just over the head of mid wicket, and Josh Cobb retreating away to our left hand side, and they come back for a couple of runs. So 77 without loss, but the individual batsman scores anybody's guess because of plenty of confusion earlier on. As it turns down beneath us, FM update now for BBC Radio Northampton listeners, so bear with. Pakistan going well at the start of their chase of 274. Fakir Zaman and Imam ul Haq have taken the score to 78 without loss in the 11th over. Bright start for this pair, particularly Fakir Zaman, who scored a match-winning 100 in the 2017 Champions Trophy when Pakistan beat India. He struck a couple of sixes already, one that cleared the perimeter wall of the ground into the wanted road away to our right-hand side. Bright start. Northants have at least got something to bowl at, courtesy of Josh Cobb, who made a career best 146 not out earlier on, but no one gave him any real support, and just 3 other scores of 20 on the card for Northants, who at the moment look to be well under par, with Pakistan going really well, 79 without loss in the 11th over, chasing 274 to win. Back with you online, and Imam pushing a single through square leg. No catches in place here. Third man long leg, deep square and deep cover have gone out as Azar goes in, right arm over, and this is pushed to extra cover by Fakir Zaman, and Ian Holland comes up to do the fielding, and the over comes to an end. So 11 down, and Pakistan 79 without loss, chasing 274. And so far, very plain sailing, Nikesh.
Absolutely, these two doing a very good job indeed. They haven't really taken too many great risks. They've just put away the bad balls. even the not so bad balls, just any slight width they've latched onto very quickly. Any balls slightly short of a length, they've rocked back and pulled and hooked pretty well. And at the moment, Pakistan cruising this one.
So Holland again from the Wilson end has got very regulation fields here for these middle overs. Comes in from the far end, bowling right arm over, and gets just gently steered by Imam down to third man to our left hand side. Buck is there running away from the players' pavilion, and they get a single. So the score definitely goes to 80 without loss. But I'm told the scorers got in a bit of a mess, because when Ben Curran tipped the 6 that might have been back into play, both the Opta scorer, who does the computer version, as Holland bowls, and this is driven away towards mid-off, and they scamper through for a quick single to Cobb on the edge of the 30-yard circle. Fakir gets another run, 81 without loss. They both, the Opta and the scorers themselves, gave 2 runs, but it was only a single in fact. So the ball was in the air for that amount of time, then it took 1 run, and that's caused all manner of confusion. As Holland comes in, and Fakir is forward, pushing out towards mid-off, and there's no run. Holland in fact coming across himself to collect.
I'm not sure how one of the scoreboards was 10 runs behind at one stage though.
Holland again from the far end, and this is driven nicely by Imam up towards mid-off, and they scamper through for a quick run. .82 without loss in the 12th over, 274 to win. A bit of solid form for this opening pair, building on their starts at Beckenham on Saturday, as Holland comes over the wicket and it's driven down towards mid-off again by Fakir, and they go through for a quick single, warmly appreciated by the Pakistan balcony away to our left hand side. I can only imagine some milestone has been overcome here. I think he's got a 50.
50 for Fakir.
Yes, there it is, he has got a 50.
It says 45 on the scoreboard, and there were shouts from the Pakistan balcony as
Holland comes in. This is turned away by Imam through square leg. Zabe is out on the square boundary to our right hand for a single to end the over. So 12 gone, and the score definitely now is 84 without loss. And Zaman goes to 50, I think, in 38 balls with 7 boundaries and the 1-6. So it is a 6 apiece. The 6 that was hit out of the ground was actually off the bat of Imam over deep square away to our right hand side. I think that's where some of the confusion has stemmed from. But Fakir has 30, Imam has 30. Fakir has 50, Imam has 31, and the score after 12 overs is 84 without loss.
Yeah, some shouts from the Pakistan balcony saying "Hamare paas 50 hai," which means, according to us, you've got 50. So he raised his bat, and there we have it.
Here's Azarullah for his second over with his very flat run-up, and this is pushed away from the crease by Imam through square leg. They run the first one hard, but Buck is in quickly off the mid-wicket boundary to our left, and they get just a single. So Imam goes to 32, 85 without loss at the start of the 13th over here. Pakistan chasing 274. Well, at least the Pakistanis knew what their teammate was on.
Yeah, can we get their scorer to operate these scoreboards? Seem to be on it, don't they?
Yeah, presumably they had their own analyst down there flicking through the numbers. Azar is in, and Fakir is defending out towards mid-wicket. Richard Levy is there, and there is no runs. Over the winter, Azarullah was playing for Pakistan television in the Pakistan domestic competitions. Played 4 first-class matches and 3 List A matches, all before Christmas these, and took some wickets along the way as well. 4 against Karachi 7 in an innings against the Southern Gas Company. This is a swing outside the off stump and a miss from Zaman. Nothing for him against a team calling themselves ZTBL. And then 10 in the match against my favourite Pakistan domestic team, the Water and Power Development Authority.
Wow.
Who I think Azza did play for earlier in his career before he first came to the UK. Azza in here, past the umpire, and this is turned away through square leg by Fakar. And again, Nathan Buck coming in to do the fielding away to our left-hand side. They get a single, 86 without loss.
Did he have a bit more going on up top on his head? A bit more hair when he was rocking it here at Northampton?
Not really, no.
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 Never been truly blessed up there, has he?
Sadly not. He turns, shirt untucked. And goes in again, right arm over, and Imam pushes. Not past backward point, a half save there. Good piece of fielding from Tom Sol, tumbling to his right hand side. They will get through for the single. 87 without loss. Now I heard they were trying to do away with the teams in Pakistan that were owned by the likes of the Water and Power Development Authority and go back to the old regional teams, likes of Karachi, etc., Lahore. As Azza goes in again. And this is pulled away by Fakar out towards the mid-wicket fence, away to our left-hand side. Nathan Buck again doing the work, this time to his right-hand side. Just a single more, 88 without loss in the 13th over.
Yeah, there has been a bit of uproar in Pakistan because they have announced, I think, the sort of rejig of their first-class system. And I believe there are 8 first-class teams from now on. That's what will be the case. And a lot of people in Pakistan saying that's simply not enough because of the fact that there's a population of 190 million people. If you look to England, for example, 60 million population, and there are 18 first-class teams. In India, there are 37 first-class teams. Of course, much bigger population of well over 1 billion. But just the 8 teams playing first-class cricket from now on in Pakistan.
Will there be a layer below that then, at a sort of development?
I'm not
layer?
sure. I assume there will be, because there'll be a lot of cricketers who won't be getting first-class contracts.
Definitely. 88 without loss here, the Pakistanis. And Ian Holland from the far end is bowling to Fakar Zaman, who opens the face on this and steers it to Azza at third man away to our left-hand side. And they go through for a single, 89 without loss. Zaman to 53. I think the scoreboard to our right is now up to date. I think both scoreboards, well, not quite. I think the one to our left has still got a few too many in favour of Iman. But we shall see. It's Iman on strike here, facing Holland, and he comes forward and also just gently opens the face, steers it down to Azarullah. They're going to come back for a second run here. Very sharp second run, and had the throw from Azar been a little better, then Imam would have been really struggling. Scrambled back. Adam King, the deputy wicketkeeper here for Northants, had to go a few yards to his right to take that. Through at the stumps, and in that motion it gave Imam the chance to get home. There was a sharply taken second, but they picked out the right fielder. In Azarullah away to our left-hand side. Holland comes in again. It was very full. Gets driven down the ground. It came with the fingertips of the bowler and almost into the non-strikers' end stumps. In the end, they go through for a single, so 92 without loss, and Imam goes to 36 now. And in South Africa as well, there's changes to their first-class system, abandoning the franchises. They're going back to the traditional old clubs for next summer as Holland comes in. This is swung up over mid-wicket by Fakar Zaman, and he hits a boundary out towards the bank of white seats on the far side of the ground. That was a bit of an ugly hack, really, sitting in his crease, but he picks up a boundary and goes to 57, 96 without loss in the 14th over.
Yeah, it was in his arc though. Anything that full and into his sort of pads region Big gap over on the leg side as well, past mid-wicket.
Holland in again, and Zaman trying to go leg side again. This time only finds short mid-wicket. And there is no run. Ben Curran in there, who pulled off that spectacular piece of fielding earlier on in the innings. Pull out to deep square, looked at be sailing away for 6, and then didn't quite carry the rope, and Curran was able to leap back over the boundary to bat it back into play. It was a tremendous piece of work as Holland comes in again. This is a slower ball turned away by Thacker out to Zabe, running away from the big screen away to our right. And they get a single to end the 14th over. 96 without loss are the Pakistanis, chasing 274 to win here.
Zaman's 50 came off 38 balls with 7 fours and 1 6.
Confirmation of Thacker Zaman's numbers. It's been entertaining to watch as ever. But Imam's played nicely too. 3 boundaries and a 6 for him as well so far. It's been an excellent opening partnership. No trouble at all. See this chase rattling along and above the runner ball so far. Azza to continue from the Wantage Road end. Bowls to Thacker, who's forward, just defending out on the onside, and there's no run. Azza are back playing club cricket in this country. Appeared for several second 11s last summer. Was released by Northants at the end of the 2017 season. But he also, like the Pakistani bowlers, does nothing for the over rate, because he charges in off a very long run. Away he goes again. And it's pulled away. No timing on the stroke from Thacker, but he squirts it away past mid-wicket for a couple of runs. Charlie Thurston now patrolling the Clark Road side of the ground to our left, collects down to his right, and they get a couple more. So 99 without loss here, the Pakistanis, and Thacker goes to 60.
So is he a freelance cricketer now then?
Yes, yeah. I'm not quite sure where. I think he was playing as a professional somewhere in club cricket. He might have been in Staffordshire last year actually. Ball's full here. This is clipped away to mid-wicket, and Richard Levy gets down to his left-hand side to field, and there is no run. Here is certainly full-time professional career came to an end a couple of years ago, but he hasn't chucked the towel in just yet. Moves in again here in a short sleeve shirt. Past umpire White, and decent length. Brings Thacker forward, pushing back a little awkwardly to the bowler's left hand. And there is no run. Yeah, last summer he was playing for Port Hill Park in the North Staffordshire and South Cheshire Premier League.
It's a pretty good standard up there.
Yeah, both Staffordshire and Cheshire, one of the stronger minor counties. As it goes in again, very full, driven, thickish inside half of the bat, out towards Levy at mid-wicket, no run. Traditionally have a strong link with Derbyshire, Staffordshire. The Warwickshire have muscled in on the arrangement in recent years. They have a more formal link up now with Staffs. 99 without loss. Azza in again, and this is up in the air over mid-wicket. It's going to land safe. Josh Cobb jogging back towards the signal box away to our left-hand side. They turn down the third run, I beg your pardon. Lifted up over the leg side by Thacker. Didn't time it at all well, but got enough bat on it to get it up over the infield. But only for a couple of runs. Does bring the 100 up. 101 without loss. Great start here for the Pakistanis. Thacker has 62, Imam 36. And after 15 overs, the Pakistanis are going very well indeed. Here on BBC Sport Online, myself, Alex Winter, and Nikesh Rukhani with you here on the Ken Turner Stand balcony.
Yeah, after 15 overs, both scoreboards now in sync with each other. 101 without loss. Fakhar Zaman 62, as you say. Imam ul Haq at the other end going nicely as well on 36. 274 the target as Ian Holland continues. And this time Imam down the wicket and dispatches this one over long on. 6 runs into the crowd there on the opposite side of the ground. And Imam ul Haq getting in on the action as well. Seen some big hitting from these two so far. Does look a good wicket to bat on. No sideways movement. Certainly not now when the ball's 15 overs old. But even early on, not much in it for the bowlers. Imam on to 42 now as Holland comes into him again. He guides this to backward point. No run. Got a deep mid-wicket fielder. Long on has gone back out, right onto the boundary. A deep cover and a fine leg as well. So Holland comes in to Imam again, who just flicks this round the corner to fine leg for a single. 108 without loss. Imam on to 43 with that one. Fakhar Zaman 62, second half century for him in as many matches on this tour of England. 76 in the first match against Kent at the weekend. So carrying on his very good form. Pakistan will be hoping he doesn't use up all his runs before the World Cup starts. He's on strike now and drives through extra cover, 4 more runs. It was a full delivery from Ian Holland, and Fakhar Zaman didn't try and overhit that one, just leant into it. And it was all timing, all the way along the carpet for another boundary. More chance of Pakistan Zindabad from across the far side of the ground. Lots of young Pakistani fans over there. The Pakistan batting coach over to our right, Grant Flower, looking very pleased indeed with his openers so far. Holland into Zaman again, drives straight back down the ground, almost into his partner Imam ul Haq, and it's going to be 4 runs. Imam dropped his bat as that ball came flying towards him. Managed to get out of the way, and it's another boundary for Fakhar Zaman. Back-to-back 4s. He moves on to 70 now. Pakistan motoring on 116 without loss in the 16th over. In comes Holland once again to Zaman, who just dabs this into the offside, and they scamper through for a quick single. Good running there from both this Pakistani pair. And that's the end of the 16th over. Pakistan 117 without loss, chasing 274 for victory. As the Pakistani 12th man just runs on with a change of gloves and a drink. The 2 batsmen out there. It's turned very cloudy once again here in Northampton. It was a cloudy start to the day, had a few spells of sunshine in the early afternoon. Not a lot of blue sky up above, just a few little gaps in between the clouds. It looks like some pretty high clouds. No real dark colour to them, so no danger of rain, I don't think. In any case, Pakistan well ahead of the Duckworth-Lewis par score at this stage. 16 overs gone, 117 without loss. And it's going to be Mohammad Azharullah to continue, with Fakhar Zaman back on strike, unbeaten on 71. Good opportunity for him to get a big one on the board today. So Azarullah starts his run up. That's the umpire and into Zaman, who guides this one backward of point, but well fielded down there. No run. It's a chance, I suppose, for somebody like Fakhar Zaman in this situation with not a lot of runs left to chase down, to just spend some time at the crease as well. We all know about his quick fire scoring, and he certainly scored quickly enough today. As Azarullah comes in and just flicks this one backward of square for a single. It's a good chance for him just to spend more time in English conditions, spend some time out in the middle. Series against England starting at the weekend. First T20, or the only T20 in Cardiff. Got a warm-up T20, of course, at Leicester on Wednesday. 6:30 start that one. And there's one dayers against England before the all-important World Cup. Azarullah comes into Imam this time, who just flicks this down to fine leg for another single. 119 without loss now. Imam on to 44 after that. There have been a few miscues in this innings from both of these batsmen. Also been plenty off the middle of the bat as well. Azarullah comes in once again to Fakhar this time, who dabs this down towards the mid-wicket fielder. No run.
Yeah, we're just looking up Azarullah here, playing for Porthill Park last season. He helped them to the title in the North Staffordshire and South Cheshire League. Porthill Park winning it very comfortably, winning 13 of their 22 matches.
And he comes again, Azarullah, to Fakhar Zaman, onto his pads and into the leg side. Jog through for another run. Got some bat on it, giving us runs. Fakhar Zaman on to 73 now. And he comes once again. Imam on strike and just dabs this one straight back to him. No run. A few more faces in the covered stand over to our left now. It gets a little bit nippier out in the open. Not much of a breeze now here in Northampton, but plenty of cloud cover. That's the end of the 17th over. Pakistan 120 without loss, chasing 274 for victory. Fakhar Zaman 73 not out. Imam ul Haq 44.
Tom Sole.
So Tom Sole's off spin going to get a go here, and he made quite the introduction here 2 years ago against the South Africans, where I think Hashim Amla was his first wicket. It is not a bad first scalp.
Absolutely, one of the greats.
It was his first team debut back May 2017.
It's always a great opportunity, these tour matches, for the younger players who get the opportunity. I remember 3 or 4, maybe 5 years back now, Shiv Thakur, when he was playing for Leicestershire, getting Virat Kohli out clean bowled at Grace Road. Sol comes in to Zaman, who just defends this straight back to him. No run. Coffee stand doing good business over to our right now. Sol in once again, and this one again defended into the onside. No run.
Breaking news, Ben Duckett has been called up to the England squad for the ODI against Ireland and the T20 against Pakistan.
Good news. Former Northampton player, of course. This one driven by Zaman through the covers. They're going to look for two. Bit of work to do for this sweeper out there, and they get through comfortably in the end.
And the Northampton's chief executive will be rubbing his hands together. Plays for England. There'll be a few pounds coming Northampton's way.
So into Zaman again, who drives down towards long off for another single.
Someone has pointed out on Twitter that Duckett's initial misdemeanours saw him out of the England reckoning, and now he's taking the place of another who's fallen foul.
This one cut away by Imam, backward of point. It's racing away down towards the boundary, but I think it's going to just be cut off, is it? Oh, nearly. Nearly. A good effort by the fielder down there, diving away, trying to pull that one in back inside the rope. Got his hand to it, but the ball trickling into the boundary nonetheless. So another boundary to Pakistan, this time to Imam ul Haq, who moves on to 48. Pakistan 127 without loss now.
James Vince is the batsman called up to replace Hales in the squad for the ODIs against Pakistan.
Soul into Imam, this time just skewed away to the point fielder, no run. That's the end of the 18th over. Pakistan, in their pursuit of 274, are 127 without loss.
David Malan also in the squad for the ODI against Ireland and the T20 against Pakistan. But a return for Ben Duckett, which is interesting. Had a decent winter. Wasn't a particularly successful winter for England in India, but earns his recall. Few runs in the One Day Cup so far. FM update now for BBC Radio Northampton listeners. Pakistan in complete control of this chase here. They're 127 without loss in the 18th over, chasing 274 to win. Their chase being led by the hard-hitting Fakhar Zaman, who's 76 not out, and Imam ul Haq, the nephew of the Pakistan legend Inzamam ul Haq, is with him on 48 not out. Earlier, Josh Cobb made a career-best 146 not out for Northants, but found no support at all. Cobb's 12 boundaries and 6 sixes, helping Northants to 273 for 6, but at the moment looks being well short of a competitive total, because Fakhar and Imam have put Pakistan in position 127 without loss in the 19th over now.
As we see another single there to Fakhar Zaman. He's on to 77, 128 without loss now, Pakistan, in the 19th over. So a slightly quieter passage of play this. So Azarullah makes his way in to Imam ul Haq this time. This one just flicked into the leg side. It's a deep backward square leg for a single. Yeah, he does take an awful long time to get back to his bowling mark, does Azarullah.
Yeah, they tell a story of when he made his debut at Loughborough before, what must have been the 2012 season perhaps. And they said, well, we've got 3.5 minutes to bowl these each over.
He's in again now to Zaman, who drives straight back down the ground, beats the diving mid-off fielder. Is it going to be saved? No, 4 runs. Got a hand to it there. Did Brett Hutton, I think it was. But enough power on that from Fakhar Zaman to take it all the way to the boundary. 4 more.
And as I said, okay, minutes, and was smiling to himself when he began his last delivery at the 3.3 minute mark. Only to be told, no, Azza, we've got to be ready for the start of the next over in 3.5 minutes.
So now again to Zaman, who drives again down the ground, but hits Imam ul Haq's bat on its way through. So a dot ball in the end.
but a really lovely fella. He's always got time for everybody. He's not a great athlete by any stretch of the imagination. He's a bit of a liability in the field and offers nothing with the bat at all. But he is a very crafty, skillful bowler, and it's been a good spell so far.
It has indeed. Into his 5th over here. Into Zaman again, who hoiks this one out towards deep mid-wicket, and that's 4 runs. It was a bit of a slog from Fakhar Zaman, but we're used to seeing them off the bat when he's on strike, and got enough contact on that to clear mid-wicket and into the boundary rope for 4 more runs to finish off Azarula's 5th over. He's conceded 26 runs so far. 2 boundaries, slightly ruining his figures just a touch. But Pakistan motoring along once again. 137 without loss now after 19 overs.
Yeah, the first 2 boundaries that Az has gone for in his spell, I think he'll be pretty pleased so far. If he can try and find a breakthrough, end up with a couple of wickets maybe, it'll be a steady return. I doubt there'll be anything permanent for him again here at Wantage Road. But they are in need of maybe one body for the remainder of the One Day Cup, with injuries just beginning to bite. Azza could be the man, you never know.
Here comes Tom Sole rather. And that's a single into the offside for Imam ul Haq. And round of applause as he reaches his 50.
For Imam ul Haq.
Raises his bat towards the Pakistan dressing room, looks up to the heavens. And both Pakistan batsmen here making half centuries. Imam ul Haq onto 50. Fakhar Zaman at the other end, 85 not out. Sol comes back round the wicket with his off spin to Zaman, who just drives gently down towards long on. Jog through for another single. Been quite sensible today, the Pakistanis. Not tried to force the issue too much, just put away the bad balls. This time Imam driving through the offside towards deep cover for another single. The boundaries seem to have come in flurries today. There's been some quieter periods. Then all of a sudden a couple of back-to-back boundaries. Sol into Fakhar Zaman, who defends this one, straight back to him. No run. Sol in again, this time shorter and cut away by Zaman out to the deep cover fielder for a single. I think Sol may have seen him just shimmying down the wicket just a touch. Dragged it shorter and wider of the off stump, had Zaman reaching for that one. And he is now to Imam, this time full and wrapped on the pads, and an LBW shout. But perhaps sliding down the leg side. That's the end of the 20th over. 20 overs gone. Pakistan 141 without loss. 274 the target.
50 came off 47 balls with 4 fours and 2 sixes.
Confirmation of Imam ul Haq's half century coming just from the 47 balls. Slightly more subdued than Fakhar Zaman.
So both these players are building on a steady start at Beckenham on Saturday. Imam made 39, Fakhar 76. And a great flower,
from the pavilion end, Nathan Buck.
Pakistan batting coach to our right hand side. Enjoying what he'll be seeing here, no doubt. So 141 without loss, and Azza being replaced at this Wantage Road end. 5 overs, no made, 0 for 26, a decent effort. On his return, the extra pace of Nathan Buck for his second spell of the day. Goes charging into Fakhar Zaman, who pushes gently down towards mid-off. Brett Hutton is there, and there is no run. So just what they would have wanted here. Runs for this opening pair. Now I suppose a decision what to do on Wednesday against Leicestershire. Had that T20 against England at the weekend down in Cardiff. As Buck moves in once more, right arm over, driven firmly but only as far as mid-on this time. And there is no run. Could be a first 11 to play England at the weekend, or try to get some of the other players who haven't had runs so far more of a go. You would think here may be that if Faka does get to 100 he might retire.
Yeah, possibly so. But I certainly expect him to play in Leicester on Wednesday.
Buck, short sleeve shirt untucked. Goes in, bowls a bumper, pull, top edge down to long leg. Fielder running in, oh, he doesn't get there. The ball has landed 2 yards short of him, running off that fence. And I think that's a catch that should have been taken down there.
Well, he just stopped himself, didn't he? He was running in at full pelt and all of a sudden decided, no, he's not going to go for it.
It's Ben Cohen running off the boundary. One of the better fielders out there for Northants. Very surprising. Like you say, he just stopped. Full sprint in, appeared to be getting there, and the ball landed a couple of yards in front of him. So Faka survives, goes to 88, 142 without loss, and Buck charges in again past the umpire. And Imam just cleverly running this down to long leg. As I was down in the distance, turning and throwing back to Adam King, who's behind the stumps here for Northants. Ricardo Vasconcelos, having left the ground earlier on today after a pretty nasty blow to the head, it must be said. So not keeping wicket in this second innings of the game as Buck goes in again. This is pulled away by Faka, back at a square, and that rockets away for 4. Out towards the bank of yellow seats, towards the county pub. Another vicious strike from Faka Zaman, and he's now into the 90s, goes to 92, 147 without loss in the 21st over. Vicious striking once again, Nikesh.
Yeah, onto that one, just slightly short again from Nathan Buck, and as we keep saying, Faka Zaman onto anything that's either slightly too short, slightly too wide, slightly over pitch. You don't need to get it too far wrong for Faka Zaman to take advantage.
Buck goes in again, and this is another pull towards deep square. It lands just short of the fielder and wide of Charlie Thurston's dive as well. And it goes away for 4 more. Nathan Buck stands hands on hips in the middle of the pitch. His figures taking a bit of a beating now. Fakir goes on his merry way, is now within touching distance of his century. 96 not out from only 76 balls. His 14th boundary there. And Pakistan 151 without loss after 21 overs. At the moment, they're going to win at an absolute canter.
Absolutely. Faka Zaman on to 96. As we were saying a moment or so ago, may well decide to retire if he gets to his 100. Plenty of Pakistani batsmen waiting in the wings, looking for an opportunity to spend some time out there in the middle in English conditions. Although it would be a shame for a lot of the Pakistan fans that have come in here today. Seen some wonderful hitting from Faka Zaman this afternoon.
So 151 without loss. And Tom Sole to continue from the far end. With his off spin, comes in right arm round, and Imam is forward, just pushing gently back up towards the bowler. And there is no run. Long off, deep cover and deep square out here for Imam. He goes back to cut and finds backward point. No run again. But simply little Northants can do to try and force a breakthrough here. There's a bit of swing first up. Didn't bowl brilliantly, it must be said, as this is turned away by Imam. Just back at a square on the leg side. Hutton going across towards the groundsman shed to collect. And they get a single more. Imam goes to 53, 152 without loss in the 22nd over here. And it brings Fakhr Zaman back on strike on 96 not out. Will he try to go to his 100 in style? Sol comes in from the far end and he cuts and gets it through square point, and this is running away to the fence, and that's Fakhr's century. And he's played superbly well here. One of the brightest talents in the world game. Certainly one of the most electric to watch bat. And has provided excellent entertainment to this wanted row crowd, particularly those Pakistani supporters on the far side of the ground. Goes through to 3 figures. 156 without loss, Pakistan. Sol into him again, much straighter, and just pushed back up the pitch for no run. But a great innings, Nikesh.
Absolutely wonderful striking from Fakhr Zaman. Great entertainment for the British Pakistanis here today as well.
Comes down the pitch now, whips this through mid-wicket. And Zabe is running away from deep square. And they get a single to end the over. So 157 without loss. Fakhr has 101. No signs just yet that he's going to retire.
No, much to the delight of the Pakistani supporters in here today.
And 1-6.
There you go, 15 boundaries and a 6. Just the 1-6 so far for Fakhr Zaman, but the 15 boundaries, staggering. And absolutely motoring away here with this one, Pakistan. 157 without loss thanks to that century. Unbeaten century so far from Fakhr Zaman.
So 157 without loss, and Buck continuing and getting slammed down the ground. Oh goodness, that almost took Buck's head off in his follow through. Finds mid on and there's no run, but that was slammed back down the ground by Fakhr, and Buck in the end did jolly well to get beneath it. Fiercely struck.
Maybe he's been told, I mean he does play that way anyway, but maybe he's been told a couple of more overs and you're off, mate.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself while you're out there.
Just takes his helmet off now, and it's going to take a moment or so to gather himself once more. Changing the field, third man's coming up and long on is going back. There's a long leg deep cover and deep square here for Buck. His overs have proved expensive. Into his 5th now. He's gone for 38 runs so far. Runs in again to Fakhr Zaman. Slower ball than he takes out the off stump. So the fun comes to an end for Fakhr Zaman, and Nathan Buck has got him with a really clever slow ball there. Fakhr giving himself some room, shuffling outside his leg stump, and Buck deceiving him, taking pace off the ball, and he takes out the off stump. So Fakhr is gone, but not after a wonderful century here today. Provided great entertainment. Has made 101, and Pakistan finally lose a wicket with a score on 157.
Yeah, good bit of bowling there from Nathan Buck. Slower delivery, and Fakhr looking for another expansive shot. Completely deceived by the change of pace there, and he has to depart. I wonder if he was told anyway by the dressing room that they're ready to send a new man in any case in the next couple of overs and retire him. A big round of applause, deservedly so as well, from his teammates on the balcony there. As we see Babar Azam make his way to the crease.
Yeah, he's likely to be involved tomorrow, Wednesday rather, at Leicester, and on Sunday. It was Babar and Fakhr that opened the batting for Pakistanis in the last T20 series. That was in South Africa back in February, the start of February, the 3-match series there. And yeah, Babar and Fakhr opened in all 3 matches, where South Africa won the series 2-1.
Yeah, they got thumped in the one-dayers, Pakistan. Yeah. They are a very, very good T20 side. Have been consistently in and around the top of the rankings for a good number of years now. Of course, won the World T20 in England in 2009. So good memories on English soil in white ball cricket in ICC tournaments. Certainly in recent years, 2009 T20 champions. They won the Champions Trophy here a couple of years ago as well in the 50 over format.
So back into Babar Azam now, the right-hander out to number 3, bowls him a bumper and he pulls first ball out towards the groundsman shed away to our right-hand side for a boundary. So Babar into his work very early here, shuffling back in his crease and timing that pretty well. Away to our right-hand side, off the mark first ball, 161 for 1.
Yeah, carrying on where Fakhar Zaman left off there. Short delivery first up, and Babar Azam no problem putting that away.
But continues to leak runs. Goes in again, and this is driven by Babar down towards mid-on, where Hutton does the fielding, and there is no run. Slipper's gone back in here, but I think it would take a mighty collapse for Northampton to get anywhere near defending this 2-7-3 now, after that onslaught from Zaman, 101. And Imam's been good to watch at the other end as well. He's got 53 to his name. As Buck comes in again, and Babar drives again. This time a better timed stroke, but only as far as mid-on. And there is no run. Made just 9 at Beckenham on Saturday, so he'll be looking for a few runs here today to find some form ahead of T20 matches to come.
The slip is out now into extra cover.
And back on the cover fence, so straight back to 4 on the fences here as Buck goes in once more. Ball's very falling, it's driven again down towards mid-on, and Hutton is there, and the over comes to an end. So success for Nathan Buck. Has finally broken this opening partnership, which is really good to watch. But Pakistan in complete control, chasing 2-7-4 here. They're 1-6-1 for 1.
Yeah, Babar Azam off the marker immediately. Imam ul Haq, as you say, has been pretty entertaining at the other end as well. Overshadowed by Fakhar Zaman's century, but he himself is unbeaten on 53. But very solid indeed.
Change of bowling from the Lynn Wilson end, Brett Hutton.
So Hutton returning for Northants now. Changing ends, 5 overs for 39. His initial burst from the Wantage Road end. Now down at the Wilson end. And it's going to come right arm round to Imam ul Haq, who's got 53 to his name. Hutton comes in past umpire Burns and bowls just outside the off stump and gets deflected very fine past the wicketkeeper and down to the fine leg fence for 4 runs. It was deliberately played. I don't think Imam would have been aiming quite that fine. Would have been catching practice to second slip. Beat the dive of Adam King with the gloves today for Northants, and away for a boundary. So Imam picking up where Fakhar left off. His 5th boundary gets to 57, 165 for 1 at the start of the 24th over. Hutton moves in once more. And gets pulled away. This could be 4 more towards fine leg. No, a good save from Buck actually. Has covered the ground in good order away to his left-hand side from long leg. The ball went very fine, and I thought would have been whistling into the Spencer Pavilion boundary. But just a single to Imam, goes to 58 now, 166 for 1 in the 24th. David Ripley, the Northants coach, wandering back to the pavilion down beneath us. Would have been encouraged by Josh Cobb's runs today, and I'm sure would have taken note of a decent spell from Azarullah so far, as Hutton comes in again from the far end to Azam for the first time, who defends out towards mid-wicket, and there is no run. I'm always confused whether to call the Pakistanis by their first or second names, because it's not quite as straightforward as
It's not, no.
John Smith, is it?
With Babar Azam, he's got Babar written on the back, Fakhar Zaman, again, Fakhar written on the back, and Imam ul Haq. It's not ul Haq, it's Imam on the back.
Hutton right arm over, and Barber deflects one down to third man away to our right hand side, and they go through for a single, and the score flicks over to 167 for one. I went to a hockey match once in India, and one of the teams was from Punjab, where Singh was the common name. So you had to use
of course,
the players' first names, because all 11 were somebody Singh. Hutton round the wicket. Slower ball, turned away with the angle by Imam, and they're going to get a couple of runs. The ball just dropped between long leg and deep square. And the score flicks over to 169 for one, and Imam goes to 60.
It's quite similar in South India as well, where somebody like Ravichandran Ashwin is known by Ashwin, even though that's his second name on paper. Was in fact his father's name.
Okay.
So he doesn't like being called Ravi or anything like that.
Hutton once more, and back and across goes Imam, defending back to the bowler's left hand, and there was no end to end the over. 24 gone here. Pakistan in complete control, chasing 274. They're 169 for one, but Northants have at least got rid of Fakhar Zaman for 101. So Willock's been called Ashwin.
Ashwin or Ash, just not Ravi. Well, not Ravichandran, not Ravi. He's been called Ravi Ashwin by a lot of commentators over the years. I made that mistake fatally almost when he was named man of the tournament at the 2013 Champions Trophy. I was interviewing him pitch side after the final, after they beat England, and said, "Oh, well bowled today, Ravi. Don't call me Ravi. Call me Ashwin."
Here's Nathan Buck running away from us, bowling very full to Babar Azam, who drives with no timing really out towards mid-on, and there is no run. You learned your lesson in a hurry there.
Yeah, since then we've spoken a fair few times, and now it's Ash, so all forgiven.
Yeah, he appears as R. Ashwin on most cards, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Here comes Buck again, past the umpire. A slower ball outside the off stump. The Barber lets go, and it bounces through to Adam King behind the stumps, who takes it with a long barrier. So there's no set way of forming names.
It depends on regions and things like that, and you know, a lot of Pakistanis may be called Khan, so they may be, you know, just like Singh would be preferred to, you know, use their first name, because there's a lot of Khans in Pakistan and in India indeed as well.
But going in again and bowling full, clipped down the ground by Barber, in the air for a little time, but past the non-strikers end stumps and down towards Hutton, coming to his left-hand side to collect, and there is no run.
Well, you see in limited overs cricket around the world, particularly T20 tournaments, they've got nicknames on the back now and all sorts of things, so hard to keep up with what they like to be called.
Yeah, it's getting a bit messy,
we should
isn't
be
it?
calling them.
Yeah, when Andre Russell has Dre on the back of his top.
Dre Russ.
Buck in, back of a length, pulled away by Barber, and towards Saif Zaib, away to our right hand side, and the practice wickets over there towards the big screen. Just a single, and with that wicket of Fakhar, things have just calmed down a little bit. 170 for one in the 25th here. And who was the footballer that did it? I think Cesc Fabregas for Spain had Cesc on the back of his shirt for a bit. Thankfully that didn't last too long.
There are a few though who get away with it.
If you're Ronaldo, then fair enough. The original Ronaldo, that is. As Buck goes in and bowls to Imam, the left-hander, who chops one down to third man as a willow down there in the distance. And they get a single more. Imam to 61, 171 for one. So the target about to dip down into double figures. But a steady workout here for the Pakistanis so far. Runs for their top two. A couple of quick spells for their seamers as well, as Buck goes into the right-handed Barber. Down the leg side, slower ball, pulled away towards long leg. Azhar going across. sort of makes the save, dives at the second attempt. He's having a third go now, and has just about kept the ball in play down there. And gets warm applause for his efforts as well. You could see the determination as he scrambled across there. The initial dive took the sting out of the shot.
Almost dragged it back into the rope though, and had to dive again, didn't he?
The second attempt just about flicked the ball back into play, and then he fell over, and there was all sorts going on. Either way, and Barber has 8. Imam has 61 at the halfway point. Pakistan are 173 for 1, so 101 more to win in the remaining 25 overs. Should be most straightforward indeed.
Yeah, Imam on 61. And on strike, Brett Hutton to continue from the far end. Going to continue round the wicket to the left-handed Imam. And he comes. A short delivery and dabbed down into the onside by Imam. That one rose from just short of a length into the body of Imam ul Haq, not the tallest man. At this same stage of the innings, Northants in a bit of trouble. Pakistan absolutely cruising, 173 for 1. In comes Hutton once again round the wicket to Imam. This one cut away to backward point. Straight to the fielder though, no run. Tell you what, it's not a big crowd by any stretch of the imagination, but not bad for a Monday. Not bad. First Monday after the Easter break. A fair few youngsters in as well, fair few Pakistan supporters as well. Hutton comes in again to Imam and just defends this one. Straight back down the wicket, no run. Lots of people out by the outdoor nets watching some of the Pakistani squad players having some net practice. Perhaps seeking an opportunity to get another autograph and a selfie with some of the players down there. Hutton comes in again to Imam. This one wider and cut away past the extra cover fielder. And they're through for 2 more as the fielder on the boundary on the offside runs around, cuts that one off. So another couple to Imam ul Haq, who moves on to 63. Into the 26th over here. Pakistan chasing at 174 for victory, 175 for 1 now, so target down to just 99. Hutton comes in. That's the umpire again, and a little shimmy down the wicket. Imam gets the ball on the full, but manages to just toe end it to the mid-wicket fielder. Just having a little look at his bat now. Didn't sound too great, that.
Good entertainment from decent crowd in for a Monday here at One Coots Road. 175 for 1.
Won't need a change of bat though.
26th over, so well on the way to chasing a target of 274. Fakhar Zaman has provided that entertainment with a 77 ball century.
Imam just examines his field as the fine leg fielder is brought up inside the circle.
12 fours and 6 sixes for Cobb.
Long on back out, deep cover, third man as well, deep mid wicket. And in comes Hutton full and outside the off stump, driven through the covers. It's going to be a single out to the sweeper on the offside. And it's a no ball as well. So Brett Hutton overstepping, and it's going to be a free hit with Babar Azam on strike. So Northants can change the field because a single was taken. Different batsman on strike, of course. The fine leg comes inside the circle for Babar Azam. 3 men out on the boundary on the leg side now. We see a deep mid wicket, a deep sort of cow corner, deep long on, long off his back out. And the deep cover has been brought back inside the circle. Then comes Hutton over the wicket to Barber, who slays this into the leg side out towards deep mid-wicket. And it's just a single. And that is the end of the 26th over. 26 gone. Pakistan 178 for 1. With that, Barber moves on to 9. Imam ul Haq at the other end on to 64.
So just 4 and over required here, and Pakistan looking to cruise home. Case. Just a case of getting a bit of form ahead of challenges to come. Leicester on Wednesday in a T20, England in a T20 International, the sole T20 International at the weekend, before that 5-match one-day series in the build-up to the World Cup begins.
Nathan Buck to continue. He's into Babar Azam, who just defends this into the ground, and they run through for a quick single. Good calling there from Imam at the non-striker's end. Backing up very well. Good early loud shout of yes, and safely through for another single. I don't think the Pakistanis would mind losing a wicket or two anytime soon. They could do with a bit of batting practice for the likes of Haris Sahel and Safraz Ahmed in the middle order.
Yeah, Sahel made 75 at the weekend. Safraz failed though. So did Shoaib Malik, but not playing here today.
Buck round the wicket to Imam, short and pulled, but straight to the short mid-wicket fielder. Didn't get all of that.
Made 4 changes today, the Pakistanis. Hassan Ali, Shaheen Ali, Fahim Ashraf and Malik all not playing. And Mohammad Amir, who we saw bowl pretty well earlier on. 9 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 45. Getting a first run out. Mohamed Hasnain bowled very quickly indeed. He was good to watch.
Here comes Buck back around the wicket to Imam, who drives straight into the extra cover fielder. No run.
Junaid Khan and Asif Ali, the other players, getting their chance here today for the first time. Yeah, Junaid has played a decent amount of county cricket, I think most recently for Lancashire in the T20 competition.
Yeah, wicket each for all 6 of the Pakistani bowlers today. As Buck comes in to Imam, who defends this down towards mid-off.
Also played for Middlesex, Junaid Khan. 10 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 79, a little expensive. But I think Hasnain's quick 7 overs is perhaps the performance to take away from the first innings of the game, I dare suggest.
Quick in terms of his bowling speeds, not quick in terms of getting the overs done in time as Buck comes in. This one's short and pulled. Didn't get all of that at all, but a couple of bounces to the deep square leg fielder. Another single to Imam ul Haq. Yeah, Mohammad Amir not in the Pakistan provisional 15-man World Cup squad. In the 17-man touring party for the tour games here in the matches against England, the T20 and the one-dayers. Babar Azam back on strike. Buck comes in, drives this one straight down the ground. 4 runs, full face of the bat onto that one, straight off the middle of the bat. Made a lovely sound as it raced back past Nathan Buck and into the sight screen for 4 runs.
It's a gorgeous shot, but no means a half volley. Just full of a good length, but we've seen what a decent pitch this has been all day, despite being used for a third 50-over match here. It's played very well. Punch through the line there. Great to see.
That takes Babar Azam on to 14, and that's the end of the 27th over. 27 gone. Pakistan 184 for 1.
Change of bowling from the Lynn Wilson end, Tom Sowell.
So Tom Sowell back into the attack with his off spin.
Just a couple of overs from Hutton. Back to the spin of Sowell now.
He comes round the wicket to Imam, who plays and misses at that one outside the off stump. There's 90 more required for Pakistan to win this match. Imam on strike on 65. Just cuts this one fine. Straight to the short third man fielder, no run. Two sweepers either side, and long on and long off in place as well. This one full and just defended straight back to Sol for no run. Sol in again, this time outside the off stump and driven out to the deep cover fielder for a single. Makes Imam on to 66. Babar Azam back on strike, so Sol will come over the wicket with his right arm off spin. So we see more cloud cover here over the ground. Sol wide this time to Babar Azam, gets away with that one.
Looked very wide, didn't it?
Babar just leaving it alone, expecting the umpire to call that one. He comes again, this one straight and fuller, and good half stop I think from Sol, just getting fingertips onto that as it was driven down the ground. It's a single to finish off the 28th over. 28 gone, Pakistan 185 for 1. Good tight over there from Tom Sol, just a couple of runs coming from it.
Yeah, you were mentioning what a competitive side Pakistan are in T20s, currently ranked the #1 team in the world.
Absolutely.
By a comfortable margin as well in terms of their rating. India second, England third, Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, West Indies, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh completes the top 10.
Change of bowling from the pavilion end, Ian Holland.
And then perhaps a little surprisingly, Scotland are ranked number 11th, so ahead of Zimbabwe and the Netherlands. Hong Kong have had some encouraging performances of late. They're down in 16th place, but all these teams, UAE and Nepal among them, ranked above Ireland. Ireland considered
It's a little bit strange.
yeah, one of the stronger associate nations, if not.
Well, full test playing nation
Yeah.
now. So Ian Holland back into the attack. And Babar Azam on strike. In comes Holland. Good delivery, just defended into the offside by Babar Azam. Yeah, Pakistan have been consistently in and around the top of the T20 rankings ever since they came into force, really.
Well, it's an ODI's ranked 6th at the moment, Pakistan.
Holland comes into Babar again, who just dabs this into the offside. Quick single, good running, good understanding between these two. Wasn't a call that time, just a little look up. Imam was following up very well. England top of the ODI rankings still. India second. That was the Champions Trophy final everybody expected last time around. Pakistan causing the upset though in the semi-final against England in Cardiff. So Holland comes in over the wicket to Imam, who drives and well fielded by the bowler, who just gets a couple of hands onto that. It goes through to the extra cover fielder for a single.
Yeah, you do get a little sense that England might just be flat track bullies, because they play some wonderful cricket on very flat pitches, but there's been something in it, they have struggled.
Holland into Babar this time, who drives through the covers. Bit of work for the sweeper to do out there, but he keeps it to just a single.
It's that ODI against South Africa at Lords, where there's a bit of a green tinge to the pitch and South Africa ran through them. And as you mentioned, that very dry pitch in Cardiff, where England really stumbled on.
In comes Holland to Imam, who's down the wicket and slays this over the covers, but out to the sweeper on the offside boundary, just a single. I think it's going to be a very good World Cup. I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed with the West Indies team selection. Sunil Narine not in there. Karan Pollard doing so well in the IPL. Different format, but same principles apply. Again, not selected. So Holland comes in, and this one driven beautifully down the ground by Babar Azam. Straight back into the sight screen and 4 more runs.
He's looked in very good order coming out here. A couple of lovely punches down the ground. He's gone briskly to 21 not out here.
He's a solid player. Never really looks out of form, Babar Azam, even when he's not scoring that heavily. Very compact, good timer of the ball, good driver. Latches onto the short balls well as well. So 190 for 1 now. In fact, 194 with that boundary. Babar on to 21. Imam ul Haq 68, and it's 29 overs gone now, so it's going to be Tom Sol to continue from the far end. Into Imam, he's wrapped on the pads and into the offside, no run. So back round the wicket to Imam. This one shorter and wider, and pulled out of that cut shot in the end. Imam ul Haq was there to be hit.
A long time in international exile, really, Sunil Narine.
This one flicked around the corner by Imam for a single down to short fine leg.
Hasn't played any international for 2 years now.
And yet
Against
continues
England
to do so well in these T20 leagues all around the world.
Yeah.
Sol into Babar this time, who just dabs this into the offside, no run.
Yeah, there's obviously a degree of politics involved, because there was a real standoff with a good chunk of West Indies' better players who had found riches around the world in these T20 competitions.
This one cut away by Babar, out towards deep cover, bit of work to do. Zaid out there, and they run through for a couple of runs. Yeah, a few of those players, the likes of Chris Gale, have been welcomed back though. Sol comes into Babar again, who flicks this into the leg side this time, towards square leg for another single. And that's the end of the 30th over. Pakistan, in their pursuit of 274, are 197 for 1.
And his record is very impressive. 65 ODIs, 92 wickets at 26. Economy rate 412.
His economy rate throughout his IPL career as well, which is the highest standard, you know, I would say of T20 cricket around the world.
Yeah.
Certainly the most star-studded league, is just over 6 runs and over in a competition like that throughout 150 odd matches.
Here's Ian Holland then running away from us to bowl to Babar, who drives to point and making a couple of runs here. Fielder has gone quickly to his left from deep cover, but they come scampering back. Excellent running. Never an excuse for non-excellent running really, but always impressive when you see good cricketing awareness to come back and steal a second run, as Babar does there. Goes to 24, 198 for 1 in the 31st over here. 48 T20 internationals for Sunil Narine, 50 wickets at 21, economy rate 602. Driven again by Babar, this time past extra cover, and this will run away for 4. Wasn't a great delivery from Ian Holland. Wide of the off stump, full length, and Babar leant into it and steers it away towards the signal box to our left hand side, and that brings the 200 up for the Pakistanis.
Yeah, it was there to be hit, that one. It was full and wide, as you say, but Babar Azam, he's not going to miss out on those. Very, very good driver of the ball. He moves on to 26.
202 for 1. Holland goes in again, and this is just defended, gets it past the bowler. Holland was trying to come across to field in his follow through, but go away for the single. Harbour to 29, 203 for 1. Well, West Indies lucky to be in the World Cup at all, really, because they should have been beaten by Scotland in that deciding qualifying match out in Zimbabwe. A pretty unfortunate LBW decision did for Scotland, as Imam goes across his stumps here and works Holland through square leg. They run the first one hard, and Imam gets his head down, comes tearing back for the second run. More excellent running. Very, very good cricket from Imam Ul-Haq. Straight away he knew there was two. It was just a dab, and the fieldsman didn't have too much ground to make to his left-hand side. Charlie Thurston there, away to our left at deep square. But Imam knew there was a second run available and came tearing back. Goes to 71. 205 for 1 in the 31st over. Holland goes in again, and Imam is bowled! Coming down the wicket, having a heave down the ground, and his middle stump is knocked out of the ground. So Imam gone now. Northampton have a second wicket, and Pakistan are 205 for 2.
Yeah, head was all over the place when he was trying to play that shot in the air. Wasn't steady enough, and ball straight through him. Middle stump out of the ground, and a well played 71 from Imam Ul-Haq. It's been good entertainment. Played second fiddle early on to Fakhar Zaman, who made that brilliant 101. And a good opportunity here for some of Pakistan's middle order batsmen to have a knock. It looks like it's Sarfraz Ahmed, the captain, coming out at number 4 to spend a bit of time in the middle. I don't think he'll mind that too much as well, the skipper. So Imam getting a warm round of applause from his teammates on the balcony. Some of the Pakistan fans as well who have turned up here today in Northampton.
And there are quite a few of them. I'll be prepared to say that the Pakistan supporters are a quarter of the crowd here at least.
Absolutely, and lots of younger faces as well.
Yeah.
Saw a couple of families with younger kids coming in after sort of 3:30 this afternoon, after school finished as well. Nice little after-school treat for them.
Yeah,
Pakistan bat.
I suppose for them it's worked out perfectly, hasn't it? With Pakistan batting second here. And the supporters to our left having a chat with the Pakistan balcony, it seems. Are they having a chat, or is there a bit of an argument going on?
Seems a bit heated at the moment.
It does, doesn't it?
And in fact, players just halted for a while as Sarfraz glances over to see exactly what is going on.
This is definitely quite heated all of a sudden. This is a little bit... There's a chap in a blue hoodie and another chap in a grey hoodie gesturing towards the Pakistan balcony.
And it's certainly one of the players there, and I just saw one of the members of the coaching staff tapping the player on the shoulder saying don't get involved.
So Holland going in. The new batsman here is Sarfraz Ahmed, who plays towards point. And
are they Pakistan fans, or
there's no one to run the over? Put it this way, I haven't seen them turn up to watch a Northants match this season. End of the over anyway, 31 gone, 207 for 2, so Pakistan well on their way to chasing 274. But yeah, and I think a member of security has just come down here to have more than a stern word to defuse the situation.
It looks as though a couple of the key guys wearing the hoodies have been asked to leave. They've certainly made their way around out of the stand to our left.
Well, heaven knows what caused that, because Imam was just walking off having made a fine 71. There was applause, and then suddenly a bit of a row broke out to our left. Most unusual. Anyway, play continues, and Tom Sole bowls to Babar Azam here, who cuts out towards deep cover. They come charging back with the second. Sarfraz has to hurry. Oh goodness! Tom Sole misses the stumps, and that would have been very tight indeed. Sarfraz called back by Babar Azam. Sarfraz not one of the more naturally gifted athletes in the Pakistan team. I think he may have been really struggling there. Tom Sol whipped the bails off, but he missed completely. This is cut away again by Babar. To the same field, Babar pushes a low full toss from Sol down the ground for a single. 2-12 for 2. But that was most odd. Whether, this is only speculation, but whether one of the supporters had said something to Imam as if it was a terrible shot or something. I suppose it was a terrible shot. This is pushed towards short fine leg for no run, and a member of the Pakistan team had taken exception and said something back, and that would have caused an argument. I'm not sure, but very unsavoury there. But it has now calmed down, I'm pleased to say, to our left as Sol bowls, and forward comes Sarfraz, pushing back to the bowler's left hand, and there is no run. Sarfraz immediately here has waved towards the dressing room because he's hot. Wants to take a sweater off. So out comes one of the Pakistan substitutes to take his captain's sweater.
Certainly was huffing and puffing as he ran through for that 2 and nearly got run out. In fact, he's taken 2 layers off. Oh, in fact, no, he had 2 shirts on and a jumper. So he's taken his one of his shirts off, and I
think he's put a slip over back on. So
there we go.
He wants 1 layer on. Well, the 12th man is just, well, he was called back there for a moment. I think he's okay. 2-12 for 2 anyway. 32 overs gone. So plenty more time to knock off the remaining 62 required here. Pakistan should get home with a canter. Still a few murmurings to our left hand side, but the situation has calmed down, which I'm pleased to say. Ian Holland goes in, and a gentle touch here from Babar Azam down to 3rd man for a single. Goes to 36 in quick time here, Babar. 2:13 for 2 in the 33rd over. I saw Phil Rowe, the Northamptonshire assistant coach, on the balcony, just going across to Pakistan dressing room just to check everything was in order. Things do appear to have settled down to our left. As Holland goes in once more, and Sarfraz on the back foot steers this to backward point, and there is no run. Safe Zabe warming up now down to our right hand side. Look as if he'll get a little turn before this game's out.
Yeah, regarding what did happen over to our left, I wouldn't have been surprised if somebody did say it was a poor shot, because we'll talk after this delivery.
Holland in, and an inside edge via the pad as Sarfraz looks to work leg side. The ball runs away to cover, no run.
I've seen it time and time again with fans from around the world, particularly fans of South Asian countries. They're so passionate about their cricket. It doesn't matter if somebody's just got 150. If he plays a poor shot, they will make it known that they're disappointed with that particular shot. And that could have started off that little exchange between those supporters and the players.
Holland in, outside the off stump, and cracked away by Sarfraz to deep cover away to our left hand side. Again, Babar's calling him back for a second run. This time it's much more comfortable, and the Pakistan captain gets down the far end and goes to 3. 2:15 for 2. And just the way that the stand is situated here, the Ken Turner stand in which we're sat is actually above the dressing rooms, which are round to our left as Holland goes in, and Sarfraz drives pleasantly out towards Cobb, the Northampton's captain for the day, at mid-off. And there is no run, so the supporters there, if you like, had the high ground, looking down on the Pakistan balcony away to our left. But obviously somebody took exception, couldn't quite bite their upper lip over there, and that caused that brief exchange. Holland in, and Sarfraz waits, and then opens the face, turns it down to 3rd man for a single, out towards the bank of yellow seats. And the over comes to an end with a single. Sarfraz will keep the strike. He's got 4. And Babar Azam has played fluently for his 36 so far. 2:15 for 2, the Pakistanis, chasing 274 to win Sparkling century for Fakhar Zaman, 101, and Imam Ul Haq, 71. Provided some excellent entertainment
Change of bowling from the Liv
since
Wilson end.
lunch.
Safe Zabe.
And now we are going to see Safe Zabe here for Northants. Young left arm spinner. Nothing with the bat for him earlier on. Only made one before chipping a catch back to Yazir Shah. As mentioned earlier on, it's been around the club for a very long time. Academy product. Was given a 3-year contract when he was 16, which is quite the statement. But has never really kicked on. Has had brief moments for the first team. But is running out of time. Here he comes then, far end, left arm around. Bowls to Sarfraz, who's just waiting and dabbing a single into cover. Across goes Richard Levy from extra cover to field. And the score flicks over to 217 for 2. Zabe to Barber. Barber is back and pushing down towards long on in front of the Wilson stand. And they go through for a gentle single. So Barber up to 37, 218 for 2 as Sarfraz now drives down the ground out towards the Dennis Brooks gates on the far side of the ground. 219 for 2. FM update now for BBC Radio Northampton listeners, so bear with. We've seen a sparkling century from the Pakistan opener Fakhar Zaman, who made 101 from just 78 balls. A cracking effort, including 15 boundaries and a 6 in leading Pakistan's progress here, chasing 2-7-4 to win. Imam Ul Haq has also played very well at the other end, but he's just been dismissed for 71. But now we're watching Babar Azam lifting Saif Zabe for 6 over mid-wicket to continue Pakistan's superb progress towards their target. They're 2-2-5 for 2 now in the 34th over. Earlier on today, Josh Cobb made a career best 146 not out. 12 boundaries and 6 sixes for him, but no one at the other end could stay with him. 20s for Curran, Thurston, Sol and Hutton were only bit part rolls, and this 2-7-3 for 6 that Northants have put up looks plenty short. Pakistan going really well, 2-2-5 for 2 in the 34th over. Back with you online, and Sarfraz here playing forward. Barber, beg your pardon, playing forward back to the bowler to end the over. So Zabe going, being pulled away for 6 in the end, over mid-wicket in this first over. And now the target getting ever closer, 49 to win in the remaining 16 overs. Barber has 43 and Sarfraz has 6. Victory by 100 runs for the Pakistanis on Saturday down at Beckenham, and their tour set to be given a further boost here today, Nikesh.
Absolutely, as we see another change in bowling. Azarullah back into the attack. Still 16 overs remaining in this innings. Pakistan absolutely cruising at this stage. Azarullah bowled well early on though, didn't he? 5 overs, none for 26. And that was after a couple of boundaries in that 5th over. Figures would have been even better if it wasn't for those 2 hits.
Here he comes then back into the attack. Running away from us to bowl to the Pakistan captain, Sarfraz Ahmed, who pushes a straight delivery out on the onside. They'll go through for a single, and a single is all they'll get. Fielder across from deep square in good time. So Sarfraz to 7, 2-2-6 for 2 in the 35th over. Looks like the supporters club are packing up for the day around to our left hand side beneath the signal box by the small scoreboard down there. Gentleman in a Northants maroon top is now leaping up and down actually as he packs his books away. Barber back on strike. He's got 43. Azar is in turn when he drives pleasantly. He's driven very pleasantly so far. Finds mid-on this occasion. And there is no run. So 39 for Imam on Saturday, 71 for him today, 76 for Fakhar on Saturday, 101 for him today. Barber with just 9 on Saturday, but getting some decent form here. 43 not out, and there's not really going to be enough time for Sarfraz to find any real touch, with only 48 more to win now. Made just 10 on Saturday, as Azabol's very full on the leg stump and gets turned away to deep square, away to our right hand side, and they go through for the single. Barber to 44, 227.42. That's where he really made his name. Azzarullo, with those toe-crushing Yorkers back in 2013, was the highest wicket taker in the competition as Northants won what was then the old 2020 Cup. Great to see him back here today, as he goes in to Sarfraz, but too straight and gets clipped a fine leg. Azza, frustrated, turns immediately. Goes up once more with his short sleeve shirt into the crease just outside the off stump, cut only as far as backward point. Safe Save takes it on the bounce to his left hand side. Sarfraz wasn't involved in the T20 series in South Africa. Mohammed Rizwan did the keeping duties for the T20 series out there.
He was suspended, wasn't he?
Of course, yes. Ah. Azza is in, and this is, a little around the front pad. Azza with his hands to his head as the ball comes off a thick inside edge down to long leg. Almost through there. Mohammed Azzarullo. First over back into the attack is complete. 232 for 2 after 35 overs. I forgot that was a very unsavoury incident as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sarfraz with those comments to Andil Felekwayo. Ended up being banned for a few games as a result. Those comments about the colour of Felekwayo's skin. Sarfraz ended up apologising for those comments. So 35 overs gone. It's going to be Saif Zaid into Sarfraz, who just dabs this one down to backward point for a single. So 232 for 2, Pakistan in the 36th over. Zaid into Babar Azam now, who cuts this one away out to the sweeper on the cover boundary. Jog through for another single. I don't think there's any danger of Sarfraz being pushed for any more twos after that earlier incident. Zaid into Sarfraz, who again dabs it down backward of point. Another single. Babar back on strike. Zaid around the wicket. And again into the gap on the offside. Another single for Pakistan. They're just placing him into the sort of backward point cover region at will here. Zaid comes in to Sarfraz. This time he drives down to long on. Jog through for yet another single, 5th one of the over so far. And this time Babar looks to dab this one down to third man, but gets too much bat on it. Ends up in the gap in front of cover, and another single to finish off the over. 6 singles from it, and that's 36 overs gone. Pakistan at 238 for 2. Good player of spin bowling is Babar Azam, as is Sarfraz Ahmed, incidentally. But no need to take any risks against Saif Zaid at this stage. Pakistan just requiring 274 for victory, already 238 for 2, still 14 overs remaining in the innings. Yeah, content to see this off now, take the stump in, move on to Leicester, I imagine. Here comes Azarullah, who's continuing into Barber, who drives uppishly, a thick outside edge. Down to third man for a single. There's a little few words exchanged between the two skippers, Josh Cobb and Sarfraz Ahmed, a moment ago. When Sarfraz was changing his bat, he's already called the 12th man out to take one of his shirts off, one of his layers off. He's had a change of gloves in the last couple of overs as well. And this time change of bat as well. I think Josh Cobb just taking exception to the amount of time taken out of the game as Azarullah comes into Sarfraz, who drives down straight to mid-on, no run.
Well, Cobb was out there for pretty much the whole time as Pakistan rather laboured in bowling those 50 overs. It was a good 3 hours 45 almost.
Particularly the likes of Mohammad Hasnain, just meandering back towards his run-up after each delivery. Azarullah doing something quite similar as he comes into Sarfraz once again. This one wide and signalled by the umpire as well. Play and a miss by Sarfraz, looking to drive that one through the covers.
Is it because they start play quite early in the morning in Pakistan? So they're never quite ready to go just after breakfast. It takes them a while to get into the day, so they'll wander in very slowly. Go back to their marks.
Should be up and firing by 11 o'clock, shouldn't they? They normally start at 9 or 10 o'clock out in Pakistan. Azarullah into Sarfraz, who just plays it straight to the point fielder, no run. It's good to see international cricket back in Pakistan as well of late. Slowly but surely. I've seen Sri Lanka play there. West Indies have been there, Zimbabwe have been there. Been an international 11 as well, and the Pakistan Super League, the T20 competition, holding the entire playoff stage and the final in Karachi this year. So Azarullah comes into Sarfraz, who cuts this one away nicely, backward of point. Is it going to beat the third man fielder? Yes, it is. 4 more runs. That was beautifully guided down to the backward point, wide third man region by Sarfraz, and it's 4 more runs to Pakistan. He moves on to 15. Pakistan at 240 for 2 in the 37th over. Nicely
steered, wasn't it? Just opened the blade, guided it away.
As the scoreboard ticks over, 244 for 2 now. With that boundary.
Just a bit too much width offered by Azar there, who by and large has been pretty much stump to stump in this spell so far. As you have to be, really, in modern one-day cricket, particularly international cricket on good pitches. Any width gets punished.
Here he comes in again to Sarfraz, who drives to mid-on this time. Good contact, but straight to the fielder, no run. 1 ball remaining in this 37th over.
Very difficult to defend with only 4 men outside the circle. See almost all international attacks now going stump to stump. Largely with 3 out on the leg side.
As they're into Sarfraz again, who looks to guide this one down to third man, but a play and a miss to finish off the 37th over. So 37 gone, Pakistan 244 for 2. Just another 30 required for victory. With Sarfraz on to 19 now, Babar Azam at the other end, 48.
What's a new bat down here? Babar Azam. Not happy with the first one for his first 48 runs.
Seemed to be striking it well enough to me, unless he's done some damage to his bat. Lots of changes of bats and gloves and shirts and all sorts in this Pakistan innings. So we're going to see Saif Zaid continue into Babar Azam. Drives this one down to long off for a single. Easy going here for Pakistan. Low risk cricket at the moment. Sarfraz this time drives it off the back foot down towards long off. Babar Azam running the first one quickly. Sarfraz not interested, just walking through the final 10 or so yards of that single. Not interested in any twos anymore, Sarfraz. Babar Azam on strike this time and drives it towards the bowler, who fields it well, safe Zaid. And in the end, Sarfraz sending back Babar Azam. So no run. Zaid this time shorter and just punched off the back foot into extra cover by Babar Azam. No run once again. And this one just dabbed towards backward point, and they are through for a single. And that's 50 for Babar Azam.
50 for Babar Azam.
Round of applause from the Pakistani supporters and the players on the balcony as well. This one guided down towards third man by Sarfraz Ahmed. Cut off by the short third man fielder, so a single to finish off the 38th over. And Pakistan now 248 for 2.
44 deliveries, I think. 4 fours and a 6 in Babar's effort. Moving his side swiftly towards victory here.
Babar Azam's 50 came in 34 balls with 4 fours and 1 6.
There you go, confirmation. Hardly noticed he's got there.
Very swiftly, isn't he?
Very swiftly indeed. He hasn't really played any kind of slogs, as we saw early on from the likes of Fakhar Zaman and Imam ul Haq. Just played proper cricketing shots. Very unassuming, but 50 from 44. As Azarullah continues into Sarfraz, who plays it straight to the point fielder, no run. Again, good time spent out in the middle for Babar Azam, and Sarfraz Ahmed now as well. He's moved on to 21. Skipper not getting going with the bat on this tour so far, with that match at Kent, promoting himself up the order here today. Azza comes in once again to Sarfraz, this time short and almost hit straight to the mid-on fielder. One bounce. So Brett Hutton in the end.
Curry still doing business to our right. They just waft above our nostrils.
The Keemanans were doing good business when I was down there. Very popular indeed. It was a 10-minute wait when I was down there.
Cool.
In comes Azhar once again to Sarfraz, who just guides this down towards third man. Jog through for a single. Yeah, it wasn't full-blown curries down there, it was more sort of the barbecue stuff and the kebabs and all the stuff that was cooked in the tandoor oven there. And the keema naans, certainly the most popular dish. Azhar in to Babar this time, who again guides it down to third man for another single. Doing good business on the chips as well. Everyone was getting chips with every portion of Indian food. You can just see from the body language of the Northants players, they just want to get this over and done with now. 250 up for Pakistan. 24 more runs required for victory. 12 overs to do it in almost. Azhar into Sarfraz, who drives this powerfully but straight to the mid-on fielder rather. No run.
Just for the first time there. Stepped away the leg, didn't he, and tried to go down the ground.
Seen a number of drives, haven't we, straight to the mid-on fielder from Babar and from Sarfraz. comes Azzo once again to Sarfraz. This one driven through the offside. A good bit of fielding at extra cover. They run through for the single nonetheless. And that's the end of the 39th over. Pakistan 251 for 2 in their pursuit of 274. Sarfraz on to 23, Babar Azam 51.
At any time, including when this match is finished. Thank you.
Azarullah getting a good run out here today with the ball. Slightly tiring though, you feel, conceding a few more runs in his second spell. As we see Saif Zaid continuing this one, swept over the head of the short fine leg fielder. 4 runs to the skipper Sarfraz Ahmed. More chance of Zindabad from the Pakistan fans. Not heard that for a while.
Does that mean long live?
Yes, long live Pakistan. Saif Zaid in again to Sarfraz. He gives himself some room and this time hits this one over cover, but straight out to the sweeper on the offside. So they jog through for a single. 256 for 2 now. Sarfraz Ahmed onto 28. Zaid in again to Babar, who's down the wicket and smashes it straight over the head of long on. 6 runs. For a moment the long on fielder thought he may have had a chance at that, but in the end it was 2 or 3 yards over his head and into the white seats over at the far side of the ground for 6 runs.
Fancy getting back on the bus pretty quickly here all of a sudden. Yeah. Beautiful strike down the ground, sailed over long on Said onto the balcony.
Comes Zaid again into Barbaru, slog sweeps, and is that going to be another 6? Yes it is. Over deep mid wicket this time. It's a longer part of the ground as well, that. Very, very good contact indeed. So Barber moves quickly on to 63 now. And Pakistan 268 for 2 within a hit of victory.
Yeah, very quickly. One hit will do this. Already put the accelerator down last 5 overs or so, and they're going to win at an absolute canter now.
Saif Zaid into Barber, who just drives this one down towards long off. They swap bats as they cross the batsman. Sarfraz was calling for yet another bat, unhappy with his change of bat. Up here with Babar Azam's bat.
Well done, Babar.
And Saif Zaid. And Sarfraz cuts this one away nicely. Down towards the deep cover boundary. Babar tries to get his bat back. But Sarfraz says it's the end of the over, I'm going to take strike anyway.
He's going to get another pass
yes.
now at the end of the over, but is that really necessary with 4 to win? I mean, they could just keep swapping bats, but that would look a little unsavoury, I suppose.
I think Babar is saying, Skip, what are you doing? And he's showing him the area on the bat that he's unhappy with. And that's his second change of bat for the skipper. 12th man now examining the change of bat out in the middle instead of running off and getting on with the game. So 4 more required for victory
Change of
for
bowling
Pakistan.
from the pavilion end.
10
Brett
overs
Hutton.
remaining. As you heard, Brett Hutton back into the attack.
Away he goes then, 4 to win. Hutton right arm over, ball's very full and gets clipped away by Sarfraz to the square boundary to our right hand side, and they go through for a single. So some runs here for the Pakistan captain, steering his side to a very comfortable victory. They're going to stroll over the line with 9 overs to spare here. 2-7-1 for 2. But Fakar, the star of the day really, is 77 ball 100. And Imam good value too for his 71 as Hutton goes into Barber. Very full, good Yorker actually, dug out towards backward point. Zabe comes across to collect, and there is no run. But Josh Cobb will take away plenty from his afternoon as stand-in skipper for Northants with his unbeaten 146. Some valuable form for him before the final 3 games of the one-day cup for Northants. They have to win all 3 to have any remote chance of going through. Yorkshire to come on Wednesday back here at Wantage Road, a 1 o'clock start. And again, this is driven away, but only as far as extra cover. Levy is there. Is no run. Grace Road on Saturday for Northants before Notts visit Wantage Road on Bank Holiday Monday to complete the one-day cup campaign, and then a week off, providing Northants don't get through, which looks most unlikely, having only won 1 of 5 matches so far, before the championship returns 2 weeks today up at Old Trafford. Hutton in to Barber. Oh, an excellent Yorker again, which is well dug out. Almost ran through to the off stump there. Very well bowled here from Hutton, determined that the winning runs aren't going to come off his bowling. Just 3 to win here. 2-7-1 for 2. The crowd have gathered away to our right hand side, about to cheer the winning runs and make their way to the exit. The Pakistanis up to Leicester on Wednesday night for a T20, and then to Cardiff on Sunday for the first game against England of the summer, as this is wide of the off stump and driven, but only as far as extra cover again. So maybe we will need 1 more over. Cardiff on Sunday, a 2:30 start for the first England-Pakistan match. England get the international summer underway on Friday against Ireland over in Dublin. It's an ODI, and they go back to T20 to play Pakistan, and then back to ODIs to play Pakistan again. Makes no sense at all. As Hutton goes in, and this is driven down the ground, and there's the winning runs. A gorgeous shot from Babar Azam, full blade of the bat, back at the pitch, finds the long on boundary, and it's a splendid end to a stroll of a chase for the Pakistanis. They've won here by 8 wickets. Barber ends up 68 not out. His captain Sarfraz with him
Pakistan
on 30.
winners by 8 wickets.
But Fakar Zaman, the star of the chase with 101, and Imam good value as well for his 71. Pakistan have won here with 9 overs to spare.